We're up in the Shelburne area. It's what they call the roof of Ontario. Basically one of the higher points in Ontario, the highest they claim. Very flat, and we happen to know for sure that there are definitely caves beneath this area. There's a distinct lack of water flowing. This is an example of where it is flowing, and we're dropping down into a valley here. So we're kind of searching around a well-known sink point that we know of and just seeing where the outflow might be. Nice thick layer of rock, layer of shale beneath it. Shale always traps the water. It's impervious to water. So usually if you're going to get a cave tunnel, it'll form above the shale. That layer of rock would be a good example. Obviously something for generating power from the water. The valley cuts down quickly and deeply through it looks to be mixtures of shale, limestone and dolostone, and we're right at the edge of that area they call the roof of Ontario. So, you know, logically speaking, you would imagine that it might be a drainage point, resurgence point for what sinks up above on the plateau. So when I first started caving in Ontario, this was one of the big digs we did. We were using sucking dredgers, and on the very last day, on I believe it was that side, we hit a tunnel that was blasting the water out. So I remember when we actually opened the tunnel, you could actually put your hand, your arm, all the way to the shoulder length into the top of the roof of the tunnel, and it was smooth as can be, all scalloped. So there's definitely a much bigger tunnel down behind me. Just needs again to be dug out with the gravel, but that's a large project. This is kind of a breakthrough through the surface cap up here to underground water drainage. It's actually fills up quite a bit at times as well.
Go in the water path?
No, you couldn't. You could just fit your arm in here. So obviously you can see the bottom of this sinkhole here. So we dredged all of this out. We removed the large boulders with cargo nets, dredged out all the mud and gravel. You can see underneath there, there's rumors in this area of albino catfish and stuff like that. So that's really what brought us to the area, and that was many years ago. The project was being led by a very experienced cave diver. It just kind of petered out, but believe me, there are still tunnels way down here. So one of the cool things about this particular spot is that there's a form of fish down here, and basically, what the heck was it called? Anyway, this fish that lives in this area, geez, the name it's a common fish, but it's developed in such a way that spiny stickleback, that's it. It's such a small isolated place that it's grew into its own sort of subspecies, as often happens in severe isolation. So from underneath there, that's where the water was blasting out, actually blowing the gravel. It was one quite a large sort of dig. It took place over a number of years, led by a very experienced cave diver who was interested in, you know, seeing what was down here. And it's formed along a joint, and you know, our suspicion that there are other similar sinkholes in this area. We're going to have a look around, see what we can find. One of the old timers of the area, guy that everybody's pointed their finger towards for getting some leads on this. We've been looking for the manure spreader that was dumped down a huge sinkhole in this area, and he kind of pointed us out to his field and says that there's what he described, not as soil pipes, but I gather they're soil pipes where the water builds up and it just suddenly disappears. And he says you can break your wheel on it, so we're just kind of combing around. He said it's out in this field, but we're going to just search the area. Maybe there'll be some interesting karst features.